You have not seen land in 28 days. It is the black middle of the night, and the only things in the world are the stars, the long swell lifting the hull beneath you, and the smooth, worn grip of the paddle in your hands. You do not steer with it now. You hold it the way you would hold a sleeping child, because the man who carved it is dead, and it is all of him you have left. Somewhere behind you, a whole people is sleeping on two lashed hulls, trusting that you know where the ocean ends. You run your thumb down the knotted cord at your wrist, 28 knots. You tie another. Your home is a high green island in the middle of the sea, in the years the chance will later call the time of the great going out. But the gardens are thin this season. The rains failed and failed again. There are too many mouths and too little taro, and every grown man on the island knows what that means. Someone will have to leave, not to die, to find another island, out past the edge of everything anyone has ever seen, and to plant a people there. You are 18. You have never been more than a day's paddle from the reef. 10 generations of your people have lived and died on this island, and in all that time, no one who sailed east has ever come back to say what is out there. But you are not nobody. Since you were a small boy, your grandfather has been pouring the sky into you. Night after night, you lay in the canoe shed while he named the stars, not as points, but as houses, each one rising in its own doorway on the eastern sky and setting in its own doorway on the west. He made you chant them until the order lived in your mouth. He taught your skin to read the swells, the long one from the south, the short, angry one from the storm quarter, to feel which way the canoe was pointed with your eyes shut. He taught you the birds, which sleep on land, which never do. When the araki calls the council under the great tree, you sit at the back. The chief speaks of the failing gardens, and then he speaks the thing everyone feared. A canoe must go east, and the man who must find the land is the master navigator, your grandfather. You look at the old man across the firelight, and you see what the chief does not want to see. His hands shake now. His cough has blood in it. He will not live to cross an ocean, and the whole island knows it, and no one says it. That night your grandfather does not sleep. He sits you down in the sand, and he puts his paddle across your knees. The dark hardwood blade with the row of shark teeth he cut into it as a young man. You tell him you are not ready. You tell him you are 18 and afraid. He takes your face in his 2 hands, and he tells you the thing you will hear for the rest of your life. The knowledge is not in the paddle, he says. It is not in the stars. It is already inside you. I put it there. You will not find the island with your eyes. You will find it with your body. At dawn, they carry the future down to the water. The voyaging canoe is 2 long hulls lashed with brown cord to a deck, a house of woven leaves at its center, a great clawed sail of pandanus matting. They load the gourds of water, the baskets of dried fish, the pigs and the dogs and the chickens, and the most precious cargo of all, the wet bundles of taro and breadfruit shoots, a whole island's gardens wrapped in damp leaves. Your mother's sister, Hina, takes the steering oar of the second hull. Your grandfather stands on the beach. He does not wave. You point the bow at the rising sun and you go. The peak of your home shrinks all day, and at dusk it slides under the sea behind you, and then there is only water. Now the discipline begins. A navigator does not truly sleep. You doze sitting up, but some part of you stays awake for days, holding the canoe on its line. The days find their rhythm. A flying fish slaps onto the deck at night, and the children shriek and laugh. A water gourd cracks against the crossbeam, and you watch a day's drink darken the wood, and you say nothing. A small boy stands his first night watch beside you, terrified and proud. Each night, you tie 1 more knot in the cord. The water runs low first, then the nerve. The fish are not biting. A man near the bow begins to mutter that the old navigator sent his green grandson out here to drown them all. You watch the southern swell, the one that has run under you steady since the 2nd day, and you do the sum your grandfather drilled into you, how far, how many nights, how much water back the way you came. And you understand the thing every wayfinder must understand alone. You have gone too far to turn around. Behind you is as deadly as ahead. There is no home anymore. There is only the island you have not yet found. You hold the bow east. On the 30th night, the stars go out from the south upward, swallowed faster than you can name them. The squall hits with rain so hard it flattens the wave tops to white, and it takes your stars, every one of them, the whole ceiling of the world gone behind cloud. This is the thing you feared most. The one tool you trusted is simply switched off. So you do what the old man swore you could. You shut your eyes and you feel for the long southern swell under the hull, the same swell, the deep one the storm cannot erase. And you steer by the lift and drop of it against your hips, blind for 2 days. You bail, you hold. You do not let go of the line that only your body can feel. On the second night of the storm, the sea takes Hina. A wave green and solid as a hillside comes over the second hull, and when it has gone, she is not there. You cannot stop. You cannot turn back for a body in a black ocean. So you do for her what your people do. You speak her name to the water and you let her go. It was Hina who tied the first knots into your counting cord when your fingers were too small. It was Hina who first folded your hands around the paddle. You tie that night's knot for her. The cord is heavier now. The storm breaks at dawn and the stars come back, and so does the fight. The muttering man stands and points to a different horizon, north toward a band of brighter sky, away from the line you have held for 30 days. The crew wants to follow him. They are tired and they are frightened, and the bright sky looks like hope. You almost let them. And then, in the last gold light of that evening, you see it, a single white tern, far out over empty water, flying with purpose, not wheeling, not feeding, going home. A bird like that sleeps on land. Its flight is an arrow, and the arrow does not point north. You change your heading. You turn the bow to follow the bird. And now the ocean begins to speak. The next morning a branch drifts past the hull, and it is not grey driftwood. It is green, torn fresh from a living tree. Then a single leaf, still soft. The birds thicken, and then you see the thing your grandfather promised would come. Far ahead, one white cloud standing still in a moving sky, anchored, holding its place over nothing, the way a cloud only stands when it is leaning on an unseen mountain. That night, the underside of the clouds on the horizon glows faintly green, the green of a lagoon throwing its color up into the dark. You do not sleep at all. You hold the bow on the bird's road. At first light on the 40th day, it lifts out of the sea. A steep, dark island, a high green peak with a crown of cloud, surf breaking white on a black shore. No smoke, no canoes, no people. Land that no one has ever named. You have crossed an empty ocean with your eyes shut and your body open, and you have arrived exactly where the knowledge said the land would be. Behind you, the canoe wakes. Someone begins, very quietly, to weep. You say nothing. You simply lift the paddle and point. You ground the hulls on coral and you wade ashore through water so clear it is barely there. The first fire ever lit on that beach is yours. The shoots go into new ground, taro, breadfruit, coconut, and a people is planted on the far side of the world. The canoe that carried you becomes the beams of the first house. The crossing becomes a chant, sung to children who will never see the island you were born on. And one evening, years later, a small boy who watched you steer through 40 nights holds out both his hands. You put the paddle across them, the dark blade, the row of shark teeth, exactly as it was put across yours. You will not write any of this down. Your people have no marks for it. It lives only in bodies and in song, and one day, in the long quiet when the great voyages stop, much of it will be forgotten. But the islands stay full. The ocean keeps no maps. It keeps the people who remember. Tonight, that is you.